piles are falling. Oh boy, here we go. Hey everybody, CR Media Gal here, also known as Andrea. Welcome back to my channel. I finally have working air conditioning again. Nothing will humble you more than not having access to air conditioning for an entire month, most of which is taken up by 100+ degree heat. I won't be melting in front of you. I won't be dripping sweat. I can finally sit down and get back to some of my bookish content that I have been itching to film for weeks. This one is long overdue. I did my first book haul on this channel several months ago, and I just keep collecting more and adding more to my TBR list. Also buying books with pretty covers before deciding whether or not I even like them. I have a book buying problem. So I thought we would go through and do another massive book haul. I'm not quite sure how many books I'm going to be showing you here. I have several on my shelf behind me as well that I should probably go through. I'm not sure how much of them I will show. Maybe we'll even be doing a part 2 to this. Unlike my first book haul, I am just going to read you the first paragraph or blurb from a book rather than the entire synopsis. We'll be here forever otherwise. If you're new here, my name is CR Media Gal, also known as Andrea. At the beginning of the year, I decided to switch my channel over to doing a lot more bookish related content. Be sure to subscribe below so that you don't miss future book related videos from yours truly. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm just a really itty bitty booktuber. So any love helps. If you're interested in seeing what growing list of books that are gonna be on my TBR and that I've bought in the last several months, keep on watching. So I have a collection here of mostly secondhand books that I've purchased off of Pango Books. I love Pango Books. They have become my go-to primarily because I don't really have a used bookstore anywhere close to me. Being able to purchase secondhand and giving these books new life, always a good thing. This video is not at all sponsored. They don't even know I exist. However, I do have a discount code that any regular Pango Books user would like to save some money, help a girl out in continuing to buy books. Be sure to use my coupon code. I will also have it linked down in the description box for you, and you can save yourself even more money. But I do have some books from Barnes as well. This is gonna just be a mix. I'm not gonna go in any particular order. Start off strong with a box that was kind of half fallen apart when it arrived to me, and that is the Caraval series by Stephaniegarber. I have a recent reading vlog if you would like to go back and watch it, in which I read the first Once Upon a Broken Heart book. Absolutely fell in love with that world. Fell in love with Jack's new book boyfriend. But I had been warned that you should read Caraval first before going to read that. And then Memorial Weekend hit and Pango Books was having a major discount, including this series that was already in my cart. So I ended up buying this set. Finale is not included because I'm reading that now, but this is the holiday edition set. And normally on places like Amazon and Barnes, this set is close to $100. I believe I got it for around $30. So I consider that a steal. Scarlet Dragona has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Donatella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the far-away, once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long dream of invitation finally arrives. A legendary competition, a mesmerizing romance, an unbreakable bond between two sisters. This is the holiday edition of Caraval with the red sprayed edges. They all have the same snowflake on the hardcover. Very, very basic. What I do love is the end pages have Rosie Thorne's artwork. She is a recent discovery for me. She has made some of the most gorgeous bookish fan art I've ever seen, particularly for Once Upon a Broken Heart and Caraval. But she's done so many amazing books. She's done ACOTAR. She does a lot of artwork for special editions for Fairy Loot, Owl Crate, you name it. She's done a number of them. And she's one of my favorites. So yeah, I have the whole set. I may love this series enough that I have some more special editions of this series coming. Another book problem of mine is buying multiple sets of the same books. Listen, if it means enough to me, I want those pretty books for my shelf. Such a wild, trippy, really good series. Highly recommend. So next up is the first book in the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer Armentrout. My sister has been highly recommending this series to me for a while. I am a little intimidated by how thick the first book is, but I am looking forward to getting to this at some point because I'm sure I'm going to love it. Chosen from birth to usher in a new era, Poppy's life has never been her own. The life of the maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, never to experience pleasure. Waiting for the day of her ascension, she would rather be with the guards, fighting back the evil that took her family than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice has never been hers. Excited to get to this. I hear this has quite a bit of spice. If you're not a spice reader by any means, this is something you might want to skip. And just a perfect example of a book that I got off of Pango Books. It's brand new, never been read, and I think I paid like $3 or $4 for it. Next up, another secondhand book, which is actually the second Ali Hazelwood book that I own, yet I haven't read anything of hers. I still have to read The Love Hypothesis. I intend to read that at some point this summer. I also decided to pick up Bride from Pango Books because it was just a couple bucks. I've heard pretty good things about this one. Vampire bride and an alpha werewolf form a dangerous alliance in this enthralling new paranormal romance. Zuri Lark, daughter of a powerful vampire councilman, is an outcast. Her days of living anonymously among the humans are over. She has been called upon to uphold an alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemies, the wolves. This sounds pretty intriguing. I might save this for as we get closer to spooky season. I have this one and a number of other books on my list for spooky time. Next up is a random Regency romance. I believe it was Darling Desi recommended in one of her springtime reading videos. The Belle of Belgrave Square by Mimi Matthews. I've heard it gives like Bridgerton, Jane Austen air kind of vibes. I've always loved Jane Austen. Controversial probably, but Pride and Prejudice from Jane Austen is not my favorite of her books. Emma is my favorite. I love Emma. I reread it every couple of years. I'm excited to read another like Regency book, but from a modern day author. A London heiress rides out to the wilds of the English countryside to honor a marriage of convenience with a mysterious and reclusive stranger. Tall, dark, and dour, the notorious Captain Jasper Blunt was once hailed as a military hero, but tales abound of his bastard children and his haunted estate in Yorkshire. What he requires now is a rich wife to ornate his isolated ruin, and he has his sights set on the enchanting Julia Witchward. I've heard that this has some unexpected twists, so I'm very curious to read this at some point. Again, with something that I got off of Pango Books for only $2 or $3, so cannot beat that. Next up is actually a series that I ordered off of Target because they were having a massive book sale. On Barnes, I believe these are still full price, but on Target, they were half off. New Pretty Hunger Games edition by Suzanne Collins. Read Hunger Games last fall. I do want to read the remainder of the series at some point. I really enjoyed it. So I decided I liked it enough that I might as well pick up the pretty editions. I'll have these really pretty sprayed edges. I don't know why I've been putting off reading the second book because again, I really liked the first one. I think it's primarily just because dystopia, I really have to be in the mood to read that genre because it can really depress me and get me in a reading slump fairly quickly because I'm such a mood reader. Definitely have to be in the mindset to continue this series, but I'm looking forward to it. Next up is a series I had ordered the first book off of Pango Books a number of months ago because I had heard good things about it from a number of booktubers and book talk reads and those type of books that become super popular. They can be very hit or miss for me. But I'm hoping I will like this series. I've heard it's quite the slow burn, which I'm totally fine with. It's another fantasy series, Kindred's Curse Saga by Penn Cole. I got just the standard paperback from Pango Books, and then I saw that special editions were coming out for the entire series. So I did go ahead and buy the special editions in the hopes that I'll like them. Gorgeous sprayed edges. I'm a sucker for pretty books, I'm telling you.
It's a problem.
So we have Spark of the Everflame, the first book. We have book 2, which is Glow of the Everflame. I think the only reason I didn't buy the third one is that the third isn't out in paperback yet. Who knows when I'm gonna get to these anyway, so it's fine. When old secrets catch fire, everything will burn. In a mortal world colonized by the gods and ruled over by the descended, their cruel magical offspring, DM Bellator, yearns to escape her poor village. Her mother's sudden disappearance and the discovery of a dangerous secret about her past offer DM an unexpected opportunity to enter the dark world of descended royalty and unlock the web of mysteries her mother left behind. They were pretty, okay? We'll see if this highly anticipated book series is worth it. Hopefully. Next up is a book that I've actually had my eye on for a number of months. It only just recently came out, and I do have this author's duology sitting up on my bookshelf here that I still have to get to. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this author and this latest installment of hers, and that is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. How gorgeous is this Barnes & Noble edition? You've got the shimmering foiling there, beautiful sprayed edges with the sword. That's just stunning. And then the gorgeous hardcover as well. Just a stunning book in general. To my understanding, dark gothic type of tale, which I'm super intrigued to get to. Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. Like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the Stonewater Kingdom's windswept moors and craggy mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome, Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. She is one of my most anticipated authors, not just of the year, but just generally. I think I want to start with her duology because it's been sitting on my bookshelf quite a bit longer than this one, but I cannot wait. Just this cover alone. Next up is a rather random book that I ended up adding to my TBR list when I was doing an order on Barnes. You know, when they recommend you some other books in a similar vein as what you're purchasing. And that is part of a series. There might be 4 or 5 books at this point. Another fantasy series. And the first book is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is the first in the Remnant Chronicles series. It's got these pretty design edges there. I just remember reading the synopsis of this online and thinking, oh, okay, this sounds like something I would particularly like. She flees on her wedding day. She steals ancient documents from the Chancellor's secret collection. She is Princess Leia, 17, first daughter of the House of Morrigan. Of course, they're always 17. Why are they always teenagers in these fantasy books? The kingdom of Oregon is steeped in tradition and the stories of a bygone world, but some traditions Leah can't abide, like having to marry someone she's never met to secure a political alliance. Curious if this includes a romance. I have a feeling it probably does. Maybe an enemies to lover kind of scenario. Okay, there are 5 books in this series. We'll see based off of the first book if I'm gonna want to continue the rest. Plot line for this sounds right up my alley. Next up is another fantasy series, Romantasy, to my understanding. I purchased secondhand on Pango Books. I have been intrigued by these covers for so long. I believe this is the UK special edition books that I managed to snag from a seller online for not very much at all. The Belladonna series by Adeline Grace. Your name is no curse, little bird. I just like the taste of it. As long as Signa Farrow has been alive, the people in her life have fallen like stars. Orphaned as a baby, 19-year-old Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each has met an untimely end. Her remaining relatives are the elusive Hawthorns, an eccentric family living at Thorn Grove. an estate both glittering and gloomy. Its patriarch mourns his late wife through wild parties, while his son grapples for control of the family's waning reputation and his daughter suffers from a mysterious illness. I know so little about this, but I've heard such good things about it, so I'm very, very curious to get to this one. This is the UK special edition with these really pretty covers. Pretty foiling on the hardback. Here's the second book, Foxglove. Love this cover probably the most out of the three. What's wrong, love? Afraid I'll ruin you. Now this one actually has some really pretty detailing on the hardcover. And then book 3, which is Wisteria. Just love this artwork, it's so pretty. You are a mystery to me, a sweet briar full of thorns in my side. Definitely sounds like a romantasy. That's this hardcover. Not only are these gonna look beautiful on my bookshelf, but I'm very, very excited to get to this series. Next up was another quite random order from Barnes. I've seen this cover multiple times that I've been to Barnes & Noble and I've never picked it up. Then I found out randomly from another booktuber that I follow that this book is about pirates. Instantly flew to the top of my list of books that I want to get to. And that is Nightw Weaver by R.M. Gray. I mean, look at that cover. Is that not like super, super intriguing? The quote on the sprayed edge says, "I will not let them take me." And then the inside has what looks like character art on the end papers, but then the hardcover. Oh, I actually like the hardcover better than the dust jacket. So, so beautiful. And then the back end pages have a map. I let them place his hands on either side of my head. Let him encapsulate me with his body until I feel as if the sea has wrapped me in its embrace. The scent of brine clinging to his sun-kissed skin. His blue eyes seize mine. Gentle yet commanding, like the tide pulling me out into the deep. He echoes my words from earlier this evening, his breath caressing my cheek. You're exactly like I thought you would be. And that is, I managed to ask, my voice hoarse. He inclines his head so that his lips are so close to mine, I don't dare take a breath, my eyes shuddering closed. Brave, he murmurs, his voice as lulling and familiar as the crash of a wave. I'm excited to read like my first ever pirate book, and sounds like a romance, so already capturing my interest just based off of this blurb on the back. Next up is another pretty special edition that I managed to snag on Pango Books. This blew up on TikTok a number of months ago. I've since watched a number of booktubers that I follow read this book and just rave about it. It's another like Regency romance, but there is an element of fantasy in it as well because it does include Fay, and that is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. This is the beautiful Fairy Loot edition. Take a look at that. Look at that gold foiling. Isn't that stunning? The beautiful chandelier and flowers. Reverse dust jacket is the original, but the inside I think is even more stunning. My jaw dropped when I saw that. How pretty is that? Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. And paper character art there with more gold foiling and even more on the end page on the back. I feel like Fairy Loot creates some of the most gorgeous special edition books I've ever seen. I actually may have ordered the Caraval series from Fairy Loot recently because, take a look at that. It's all rosy thorns. It's all rosy thorns. I'm so freaking excited. This apparently takes place in 1800s England. Apparently this is a mixture of fae and humans. When one makes a Fay bargain, one must be prepared to pay the price. The season is officially open and high society girls line up to bargain with the immortal queen Lauren for qualities that will win them suitors: a perfect smile for the loss of a finger, an exquisite talent for piano in exchange for one's happiest childhood memory. Yet every glittering Fay deal has a rotting heart, and amidst lavish balls, vicious competitions, and a dangerous alliance with the prince's irresistible brother, Prince Emmerich, Ivy realizes that at the center of this contest lies a dark plot that could destroy all of England and her heart along with it. Bridgerton vibes. It has ACOTAR vibes. I'm very, very excited to get to this one. And apparently this is going to be either a duology or a series. There is a second book that should be coming, I believe sometime next year. Rather than read this now and have to wait like an entire year to read the next book, I think I'm gonna try and wait, if I can, to get to this until closer to the release of book 2. That way it's all fresh in my head too. Love me a really pretty fairy loot edition. Next up is a series I've already mentioned a number of times on the channel. Even though I haven't read book 2 and 3, I'm like absolutely hooked by this series. I was on Stephanie Garber's Instagram and she mentioned that the new hardbacks for her Once Upon a Broken Heart series were out now at Barnes & Noble, and they include additional material. So I figure, even though I have this gorgeous UK edition behind me, I think I'm going to read from the Barnes & Noble editions going forward so that I don't miss any of the bonus material. I did order the boxed set from Barnes. Unfortunately, the box was damaged in transit. The first book, the dust cover, got damaged as well. I'm a little annoyed about that, but you know, it is what it is. So these are the pretty Barnes & Noble editions. The first one is pink, the hardcover. The hardcover is what I actually really love. This one is Recipes of the Ancient North, translated for the first time in 500 years. If you've read the first book, the Recipes of the North is mentioned. So I love that there's like little nods to like the inner workings of the books for the hardcovers. Then this one is book 2, The Ballad of Never After, which
I cannot freaking wait to get to.
And I love this beautiful lavender color. And this one is The Rise and Fall of the Valors, beloved first royal family of the magnificent North. With beautiful foiling yet again. And then last is A Curse for True Love with this like mauve color. Oh, The Ballad of the Archer and the Fox. If you've read the series, you know. I will say though, like, I know a lot of people love the Barnes & Noble special edition covers. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are pretty, but I actually have some other dust jackets, special dust jackets that I'm gonna be putting on my Barnes & Noble edition. So stay tuned for that. That will probably be shown in an upcoming bookish haul. I'm so excited to get back to this series. I really am just trying to savor Once Upon a Broken Heart and Caraval in the same way that I took my time with ACOTAR because I loved it so much. And like reading one of the books, taking a break, reading 1 or 2 other books, and then like going back and forth, really to just stay in this world and make it last longer. Did buy the special edition Once Upon a Broken Heart series from Barnes & Noble. And believe it or not, I won like every special edition set of this series. I definitely have a problem. I also have a number of other additional books that I didn't show in my first book haul behind me on this bookshelf, but at this point, if you've watched any of my reading vlogs, you would have seen some of them already. So I don't think I'm going to include any more in this video. I think this was long enough. So not only do I have a number of pretty books to decorate my bookshelf, but a number of great, interesting reads that I can't wait to dive into. And I will definitely be showcasing them on this channel if you're interested in watching. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so that you can see those videos as they come out. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy book hauls. I'd really appreciate it. Or any of these books that I've mentioned on your TBR list. Let me know which one you think I should start with next, actually. Hope you're all staying cool wherever you are, and I will see you guys in my next bookish video. Bye for now. I'm sick of seeing these books just piling up around my bedroom. The way that this series has me in a chokehold, you have no idea. I want to put them on my bookshelf. So